Hi everyone, today we're going to make me a necklace. So hopefully this is a nice simple project that you could do yourselves. I'm just going to be using ultraviolet curing resin, some real leaves that I've poached off some trees in my garden. Now the reason I've got such tiny ones is my trees are bonsais. Now I've dried these out in silica sand and they've kept their colours really nicely. So obviously not everybody's going to have bonsais in their garden. I do sell some of these, but I don't think I will be this year because my tree has not had the best of years. But you could use any little leaves, or of course you could use fake ones. Why not? You know, you can get tissue ones, you can get paper ones, you can get glitter ones, you can anything. Anyway, we're going to be using with it some rose gold findings. It's somewhere in here. Just some bales and some hoops, and there's all sorts. I think rose gold is a great colour for autumn. What I wanted to do first of all was show you what else I'll be using. Now, I don't know which of these yet, but these are some of the Chameleon powders. They're the Tiny Turner brand, and I buy them from Wendy at Toonpish Crafts. I will put your links for everything I use down below in the video description, including this extremely popular mould. So we're going to go in with some ultraviolet curing resin first of all. Now the first thing I want to do is get in first of all a layer. Now I don't know how vital gloves are when you're using ultraviolet curing resin. The sort I use is a fairly safe one. However, if you get it on your hands and it cures, it really burns. So I am going for gloves. And there we go, pretty purple ones. I'll put your links for these as well. Right, now let's get in here with some resin. I've got my large, this is half of the double-sided ultraviolet curing lamp from Let's Resin, simply because this mould is far too big to go inside it as a double layer. So we'll just be using the one side and then making sure we cure both sides. Quite like these kind of, it's a teardrop, but it's not. Got a flat bottom. Okay, enter flat bottom jokes here. We're going to half fill it about. I quite like this square one as well. I might do a bigger one to be a handbag dangle. Why not? Have to crack open another bottle of ultraviolet in a moment. Which one should we do to be a handbag dangle? Should we do this big round one? But that will be two little pendants for me. This mould's really handy, isn't it? Because it's got so many cavities in it. And I like that it's rounded in the bottom. It's not like a flat square. You know, flat square edges. Right, now, because I'm getting to the bottom of my bottle, I've got some bubbles there. I'm just going to take them off with a long neck torch. Where's it gone? That one, wasn't it? And then we're going to get the lamp over it. There we go. So this is just to get in a layer that's going to be between the leaf and whatever colours I put on the back. So let's get that cured. Going to have to move it around. This lamp is great. The fact that you can use it in two goes like this, you know, two different ways like this. It's brilliant. Your bottle, it's Apex ultraviolet curing resin. I'm just going to try and find some scissors. That's always a challenge in this house. Here we go. So I've got some tweezers that have seen better days. I need to clean those up. And some scissors. So what I'm going to be doing is just trimming these stalks off. Now clearly the big one would make sense to go in here. So we're just trimming his little stalk off because I left them on so I could handle them easier. When I was putting them into I've got resin on it already. When I was putting them into the silica sand. Now obviously we're going to want to put the little leaf down, face down. And I don't think I want him completely... Oh, I was hoping that'd still be sticky. I don't think I want him completely, you know, square on. I'm going to put him kind of at a funny angle like that. Okay, that one's being awkward. Let's stick him down. There. So let's stick it down like this. That's better. It's sticking down now. And as you can see, it's coming up the sides. I'm going to put a different colour behind it just to make it stand out. But yeah, this particular bonsai that I've taken these off, the leaves are kind of orangey most of the year, and then they go this red. They've probably got a bit more colouring up to go yet as well. So I'm going to do, just to make sure that's stuck down, you could dunk them in your ultraviolet curing resin first, of course, to minimise bubbles, but I think that's going to be pretty good. Now I'm looking away. Obviously, nobody in their right mind stares into ultraviolet light. I'm just getting my little ultraviolet torch on the back just to give that a bit of stick. It's a shame that this doesn't fit into the double-sided one. So we go, just going to put a bit more over the back, let that level, and then we'll get it under the lamp again. And of course we will need to get it underneath as well, get the ultraviolet light underneath, because of course, being a leaf, the light is not going to shine through it anyway. But that one's ready to go, so let's let that self level. Now the other ones, this is where it's going to get fiddly. I've got these, there's two really tiny orange ones there, and then there's this one, and then there's one that's a bit more green. Let's do this one first. Really do need to clean these tweezers. So again, face down. Where should we put it? I'm thinking this one. Notice I'm going large. This is really a bit too big for the piece. But it's going to come up the sides and we can trim off. I'm just going to let the resin go under that. Now over here, I'm going to do like I did with the big one. I'm going to put some resin in first. There we go. Let's see if we can get those two little ones. Let's trim them off again. While I'm doing this, just to let you know that I am again organising the International Crafty YouTubers collaboration. So if crafty YouTube videos are your thing, then watch this space. It all goes out on this Saturday, which, as I film this, that's this Saturday coming. So that is the 7th of September. All the videos will be live by 9 o'clock UK time, 9 p.m, except for one or two that will come online a little bit later because of different time zones and so on. But yeah, the majority will be live by then. Now, as I post this video up, it's the Wednesday before that. So if you've got a YouTube channel, whether it's your first video or whether you've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and you're an old hand at it, doesn't matter whether your channel's tiny or whether it's massive, the more the merrier. You're all welcome to join in. So I will put you the link for the collaboration videos down in my video description below, because I've made a little video telling you how to do it, how to join in. So it's nice and easy for you. So look out for that. And if you are a crafty YouTuber, come join us. Everybody's welcome. The more the merrier and all that. I think 50 was our record from last time. So let's see if we can break that record. Right, now those are leveling nicely. I think just going to make sure it's down into the resin. Now what I want is just a nice smooth back on these. So I'm going to go over them with a torch again. I'm trying not to burn the leaves in the process. Make sure they're well under the resin. Now, leaves, they're like flowers. Dry them out before you put them into your pieces. Otherwise, they're just going to rot inside the resin. And yeah, it's not going to be pretty. Now, this time I will put this on just for the 2 minutes. And then we'll think about what colour to put on the back of each of these, because I've got those lovely Chameleon powders. And obviously I'm going to want something that's going to be a contrast so that the leaf stands out. Okay, hopefully that has cured. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is put what is going to be the penultimate layer in. I'm doing it a bit at a time because I want to be making sure it's cured. Obviously, I'm still going to give this a zap from the other side as well. So we're nearly up to the top now. Nearly, but not quite. And that is because I'm going to want to put, ultimately, I'm going to want a black layer on the back of this, aren't I? So this one will either be a keychain or a handbag dangle or, whatever. Something bigger than a pendant anyway. But they're all going to be quite chunky pendants, aren't they? Right. Torch again. Ultraviolet resin behaves a lot better if you do it in lots of little layers. It just cures a lot more reliably. Okay, those should have cured again. Now, what I'm going to do is get a little brush and we're going to put these beautiful powders on the back. Now, I fancy I fancy the two different shades of green, because I think that will just, the leaves will stand out really nicely. Those. So we're going in with, first of all, with Wicker, which is a kind of gold green. And what you'll see is it readily sticks to the back of your piece. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. Fantastic. So I'm making sure I get around the little stopper at the top. These moulds are great. They've got a little stopper for you to put your findings through. Your bail or your ring or whatever that you're going to put in. There we go. And I think I will do the same with this one, but I might fade it across. So we're going to have the green at this side, and then I'm going to fade out. Notice you only need a tiny, tiny amount. I'm going up the sides of the mould as well. So we're fading out, we're just burnishing it into the mould. And then I think this side, burnishing it into the resin rather. And then this side we might go for, let's go in Nebula. This has got kind of orange to it. So I don't know how well it's going to make the leaf stand out, but there's not much leaf in this corner, is there? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh, look at that colour. That is gorgeous. There we go. So we should get like a kind of blended effect. And this is one of the ethereal pigments. Also a tiny Turner one from Toonfish Crafts. So this one that's going to be a keychain or whatever then, I think I will do similar. We'll go around this side. We'll blend it across. I think I might get 2 shades of green in this time. And don't forget you can use the little sponge makeup applicators for this as well. I know a lot of people prefer those. I just personally find brushes easier, but you know, it's up to you. So going in again with Wicker, which I'm going to put kind of down here, I think. And again, blend it across as best I can. It is sticking very, very well to the resin, so it will only blend a certain amount. It'll end up with a kind of natural blotchiness, I think. And then, yeah, let's go for our last colour with this one, which is called Nature, which, if I remember rightly, is like a bluish green when it goes in. Yeah. So we've got a bit of variance because that is quite a big piece, so we've got room to do that. So again, just burnishing it into the rubber around the sides as well. Make sure we've got plenty on the rubber around the sides of one colour or the other. And there we are. All we're going to do now is back them with black. Now, we could do that with ultraviolet curing resin. You can mix black mica powder in with it. The difficulty is that it's quite easy to put too much mica powder and you end up with it not curing. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some Apex resin that's a really stupidly fast cure instead. Could use black polyurethane, I suppose. But it's, yeah, I don't really want to open a new bottle of that just yet. This is Apex One Coat. It's a very, very thick, let me see how thick, resin. High viscosity, as they say. And it's a 2-hour demould, which is insane, isn't it? It really is. I usually leave it a bit longer, 3 or 4 hours, and it's really, really well and truly rock hard. So I usually go for a bit longer, but let's have a look at what's going on in here. Now, if I hold them at the right angle, you can still see the leaf through there. There is a little bit of translucency. So yeah, I think it's wise to back them in black, although you do get quite a nice effect if you don't. Look at the colours when not up when you get it at the right angle. Right, I'm just going to put a tiny dot of black pigment in this. And of course, because I'm using epoxy, it doesn't matter if I get it really black, because there's not going to be any issues about worrying about light getting through it. But what I will do while I'm mixing that is, and I'll be doing this off camera, and I'll be looking away because I'm going to turn my lamp upside down and make sure that this is really cured properly from the other side. So I shall look away now as soon as I turn this on. Okay, so that's done. I gave it 3 minutes from the other side. It should be well and truly cured. It's only the bits under the leaves where the light might not have got through properly. Anyway, we're just going to drop some black epoxy on the back, and like I said, we should be able to demold this in a couple of hours or so. I will leave it a bit longer actually, because I'm not in a tearing hurry, so that's fine. So to give you a bit of a heads up about the Crafty collaboration that's going out to you all on Saturday, the idea is we end up with a whole load of autumn theme. It will be this time autumn themed Crafty videos. So if you like a good binge watch and there's not much on telly, get yourself a cup of tea, sit yourself down and have fun. It's going to be a right good watch. There's a whole load of different creators. As I said, it is the international one. They're from all over the world. So you'll be able to see all sorts of different takes on autumn stroke fall themes. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We do these collaborations quite regularly. Now, I should be doing something with leaves again, but something bigger. And I don't think I'm doing real leaves. I'm still thinking about it, to be honest. I'm going to make the video tomorrow. But I think, yes, I shall be making leaves for it. So watch this space. Because my poor little bonsai can only cope with so many leaves being taken this year. They haven't fully coloured up yet. Like I said, they tend to be quite red all year on that particular one, but they haven't got that really fiery red. They're just sort of a bit orangish at the moment. So yeah, look out for that. These big playlists that we put together are great fun. If anybody fancies joining in, maybe a future one, get in touch with me as well. I could set you up so you know what to do for next time. Our next one will be Halloween. Then of course we've got to do Christmas, haven't we? Also, Dragons in Dresses Craft Sortium are organising a horror one for the end of September 2024. Must remember to keep saying that in case anybody's watching this later. So if anybody's a bit of a horror films and such fan, I'm certainly joining in with it. So again, just get in touch. And I'll put you in touch with the lady who is organising it. Right, I've got a little bit left here. I'm just going to pour it into a random mould because I'm sure I will think of something to do with a random shape at some point in the future. I tend to do this. Sometimes I end up with little pieces that can be gifts to people who order from my store. And sometimes I just end up with little blanks that I can use for testing things later on. But nothing ever goes to waste. Right. I will run my lighter over the back of these again, just to make sure we've got no bubbles, and I'll see you in, 2 or 3 hours, something like that. Right, I'll see you later, and I'll show you how I make them into actual pendants, or in the case of this one, fit it to a keychain. Right, I'll see you later. Demold time. Right, are we ready, folks? Let's have a look. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? I'm pleased with that. Got a strange little bubble there. Oh, no, I haven't. That's just a little bit. I'm pleased with that. I really am. That's lovely. Right, I'm going to let these air, by the way. And because although it's been a few hours and they are fully cured, I don't want to risk pressing little metal findings into them until they've aired out rather more than this. So I'm going to leave them overnight and we'll do that in the morning. Oh, that one's got a little mark on the surface. That's a shame because that's adorable. Okay, so I'm now wishing I hadn't poured it quite so deep because that's going to be really chunky to try and get a finding through, but we'll give it a go. So in the morning I might just put a little clear coat on that just to top it off. Oh, this was just the random blank that I made, wasn't it? Which is still bendy because it's thin. Doink! That'll be useful at some point. Right, here's the big one. Let's have a look at this big one. Oh, nice. That is lovely. Look at that. I have to say, those powders, the Tiny Turner powders, wow. Look at that. Right, okay, I will see you in the morning and we'll finish these off. Right, it's next morning and I can see my camera really isn't doing these justice. Let's bring them up here. Look at that. All I've done, by the way, is I've run around the edge with a nail file just to take any sharp bits off. But I am rather pleased with those. Now, they are quite chunky, so my concern really was, am I going to be able to get a bail through them? Well, we're about to find out. Now, I've got clasp for that and two quite big chunky bails for these. So let's see. The only thing I've goofed really is because I'd said I want to do rose gold. I might end up taking them back off. I'm going for rose gold because of this sort of autumn theme. But I might end up taking them back off at some point and putting them just onto gold because the necklace I want to put them onto is in fact gold. So, slight technical hitch there. Now these bails, I think I've had them for ages. I think I just got them from Amazon. I'll see if I can find them and put you the link because big chunky bails are not the easiest to find. And that has actually worked. Pleasing. Yes. I didn't think it would go on, but it has. So there we go. There's one. And let's see. The smaller one should be a bit easier. I don't think I did it quite so thick. And the final one's going to be a challenge because that's got a hoop with it. I might have to think of something else. The thickness is the issue. I needn't have made them this thick. As you can see, that's really chunky. But I did want to get a good sort of a 3D onto where the leaf was. I think that's rather nice, don't you? Right, let's have a go at this one. Now, these keychains came with these big, thick jump rings. So I think I'm going to have to wind it open a lot further than that. By the way, that's how you do a jump ring. You twist rather than pull it open, if that makes sense. Because then when you twist it back, it stays in shape. Now, I don't think that's going to be anywhere near big enough anyway. So I need to come up with a different idea. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, what have we got? I've got a couple. Yes. Sorry, I'm off screen. Hang on. Back. There we go. A couple of eye pins. So called because they've got an eye on the top. Now, I wonder if I put two of those together. Because I want it to be strong. Will that go through there? Let's just check first. Yes. Actually, let's do that first because that'll help to hold them lined up, won't it? See where I'm going with this? Now, I'd love to learn to do wire wrapping. That's something I must do at some point. There you go. See what I mean about twisting the jump ring back together? It's still round. Then you can just give it a little bit of a squish like that if you need to just make sure it's completely flat as well. But it hasn't lost its shape. Anyway, the purpose of doing that was to keep them together while I do this. And then we're going to bend them like that. Actually, let's go a bit further along. So let's bend it. Oops, bend it back again. Hang on. I am making this up as I go along, you will notice. And I'm leaving fingerprints all over my little piece. I'll polish it up in a minute. Right, so let's try further out. So let's bend it there. See, this is why I put the ring in, to keep them together, to get where I was going with that. Okay, so that one's gone round. Now the other one, I want to go the other way. So I've created like a little crossover at the front. Now obviously the problem we've got here, that looks fairly neat, doesn't it? But the problem we've got here is a couple of sharp ends. And then we're going to just bend that down into the loop. And as I said, I've left fingerprints all over it, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a polish up now. I have got some proper resin polish, but just a little tip for you. If you've got some metal polish kicking around there, this is some stuff I use on the cars. This works really well. So I'm just going to give them a final little buff over. Now, I probably wouldn't have got those fingerprints on them if I'd left it another day. Being impatient as usual, but as you'll see, it comes off really, really easily. There we are. Particularly keen on that one. Isn't that lovely? And then finally our handbag charm. Now, if you've liked this video, everyone, you know what to do. You know the score. If you want to see more like this, the easiest way to make sure you don't miss any more harebrained ideas of mine is to drop a like on it and subscribe and hit that notification bell. So thank you so much to all of you who already do that. Particular big thanks to those who watch the videos all the way through. It's those view hours that pay the bills and really help our channels out. So thank you very, very much indeed. Now, as you can see, I've managed to get some little dots of my metal polish on this one that I can't get off. Yeah, I'm going to get a wonder wipe on those in a moment. And then I'll take you some photos. So I look forward to seeing you all for the big autumn collaboration. A little bit of a sneak preview. I shall be using these. And I will see you for the next video. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon.